All right, Shalom, Shalom. We are the real Hebrew Israelites coming day in and day out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. First off and foremost, our praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Hakar Kadash. Double honors to the other apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. I'm going to hop straight into it. I'm going to touch on certain scriptures, but just trying to put you in a spiritual state of mind, if you will, right? So one of the things that helps my faith, I would say, and like the elders going to, you can't understand the mystery without the history, right? And I say that to say this. When you read Maccabees, when you read Judith, when you read Romans, when you read the Gospels, and primarily what I'm going to hit on is when you read Daniel's, the 11th chapter, it's a faith booster because these things literally happen in secular history. Literally. There's no denouncing it. There's no disproving it. When you go into Daniel's, the 11th chapter, and it goes into Darius, ends up going all the way to Xerxes, which goes all the way to Alexander the Greek. And it goes into the Syrian wars, king of the north, the king of the south. It goes into Cleopatra. It goes into all these vital points of history. There's no way you could deny the scriptures, bro. There's no way. Daniel's 11 is so fucking precise from the beginning to the ending. It's a faith booster. You're not gonna tell me Alexander the Great didn't live, or and it goes into the he goat. What's that? Is that Daniel 7 or is Daniel 2? All right, but nonetheless, going back to what I said, you cannot understand the mystery unless you know the history. The Bible is so historic. It's not even fucking funny, man. It's not. Especially when you get into the Maccabees. Okay? Antiochus, these characters actually lived on planet Earth. So if this history is correct, you're going to tell me the prophecies are not? It don't make sense. Some of the history was prophecies. Daniel 11 happened years before Alexander the Great was even fucking born. So you tell me who's right and wrong. Now you pick this, you pick that. No. And that's why I said, I just want to stir your minds a little bit. Daniel's 11 is so fucking heavy, bro. Even though it's just history, it's heavy because this history was prophesied before it became history. You get it? It was a prophecy before it became history. Okay? Now, even when you go into... Hold on. Where was that? So even when you go into... Yeah, you had Cyrus, Cambius, all right, Darius, like all these names, all right. Well, all these people were mentioned in Daniel's the 11th chapter. When it says the mighty king shall rise and shall have great dominion, you had Xerxes, all right. Because who took down Xerxes? Alexander the Great. All right. And then what happened to this mighty king when his kingdom was broken up? It was divided against his what? His 4 generals. Like all this is history. You had Cassandra, you had Ptolemy, you had Seleucus, and the one who starts with an L. And then you had, I believe it was two other generals that got killed off that wasn't even a part of the four. And then you go into these things like also the king of the south, which was Ptolemy, all right, shall become strong as one of his princes and should gain power over him and have dominion, and his dominion should be great. And you had strife between these two kingdoms for years and years to come, all right? Because you have, when you read King of the North and King of the South, it's not the same king sometimes because history is being progressed, okay? So you have like the first Syrian War, the second Syrian War, the third Syrian War. The third Syrian War, you had Ptolemy the Third. So you just have to be mindful of how to navigate through the scriptures. But the one I want to get to is like verse 17. All right, when it said he should give him the daughter of woman. Who's the daughter of woman? Cleopatra. All right. Now, when you go into the history of Cleopatra, all right, now Cleopatra is a title. This Cleopatra was not black, as most. Oh, Cleopatra was no. She was a fucking Edomite. But that's history, you guys don't know, all right? And I believe Antiochus' daughter, Cleopatra I, the treaty was after the defeat in the Fifth Syrian War, all right? Ptolemy V entered a treaty with Antiochus III. So Ptolemy V would have been king of the south. Antiochus III would have been the king of the north in this scripture. All right. And this was all to strengthen their position. But that daughter of woman, all right, was Cleopatra I, which is whose daughter? All right. It's Antiochus' daughter. All right. Antiochus III's daughter. And it's just so heavy. Once you start digging for it, you have the scriptures and you link it up with the history. And now, hey, you got the computer, you got Chat GPT now. All right, so it's easy to find this information. And not only that, you have these great wars that's still talked about today in history. But you can find all that history written right here in the Bible, man. So I say all that. Even when you read Romans, you read Acts, you hear about different emperors that was ruling Rome during that time period. Claudius, things of that nature. Like, this is history. There's no denying it. So it's like once you know this, or like Deuteronomy 28, that's historical proof. It's all faith boosters. We can't say the history happened, but the prophecies are not. I mean, the history was prophesied before it became history, like I said earlier. Okay? So these same things are getting ready to happen, man. Even the prophecy of World War I, World War II, prophecy of the 10 toes, the UN, NATO, all these things are in the Bible that can be read about, that can be studied, that can be linked to history. And like I said, it's a faith booster for me because growing up, I love history. I love hearing stories, all right? Like the history that was told. So, and I got into the truth. I'm like, damn, this is, going into it, going deep into the ancient history. Hey, even as far as much going into some of the pharaohs, that dealt with Israel. You can actually find them. There's historical proof. It's a faith booster, if you ask me. It's a faith booster because the history actually happened. And I feel, hey, if the history happened the way the Lord prophesied that it will happen, so are the prophecies that's coming in the near future. So stay on, fight, swing, brothers. All right, we almost at the end of this. All right. With that, hey, I pray this was edifying. I'm saying all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. Abba, Abba.